One broadcasting.
Hey, we are broadcasting live now for the 3 Martini lunch, powered by Rockstar Connect. So not only do we have people joining us in the chat audience, we are also broadcasting this over the Facebook network of Rockstar Connect, which is 250 plus Facebook groups around the country. So everyone behave yourself accordingly. You are being watched. I know everything has become very casual because we're doing virtual. I just do like to set up a few rules at the beginning for those of you that may or may not know. Chances are if you eat on camera, you're going to look really, really silly. And I'm probably going to call you out for it. So if you're really hungry, you can turn off your camera and you can leave the room. But otherwise, just try not to eat. You can drink. This is called 3 Martini lunch. I am not a big drinker, but in order to do this program and be brave enough to speak to everyone in front of all these people, I do have a little cocktail here, and I did make one for Sarah. Now you'll hear me mention Sarah throughout the 3 Martini lunch. Sarah is my wife and the co-creator of Rockstar Connect. In addition to that, all the systems that broadcast this event, that run Rockstar Connect and the other things we do, Sarah is responsible for all those things, and she created and originated it. So I want credit to go where credit is due. I just had an idea, but ideas are worthless unless there's implementation. Sarah Elliot is the queen of implementation. So therefore, we're able to have a really successful event. You may want to look at yourself on the camera. If you appear to be too dark, you may not have enough light in your room. You may want to put a little bit of light on the subject. I see 2 Karen Browns. Do we have 2 Karen Browns today? Okay, that'll be different. That'll be hard to keep track of. In order, generally, the way we do this program is we utilize, for 3 Martini lunch, we use Rockstar Connect's trademarked Success is Contagious program in order to allow all the panelists to participate, but also those of you in the audience. So we're going to start off, and I'm going to go to all of the panelists that are here in the first hour, and I'm going to ask them to share their success. But this week, we're going to have a little bit of twist. I don't want to know what your success was for the week. I want to know what your definition of success is. But that definition of success can be for yourself or for your clients or for your family. So I'm going to make it a little bit easier. Mark, you're just coming in. I want to tell you we're doing the success portion of the event a little differently today. Instead of sharing your success for the week, we want to know what your definition is of success. So not only for yourself, that could be your family, it could be for your business or for your clients. Also, Sarah has the question that we are, or the topic or question that we are going to be discussing in the second half of the program, roughly. She's going to put that in the chat, so you won't be absolutely surprised. The topic today is, if money was not a factor and you can do any job you wanted or do anything that you wanted, what would you be doing? And I would love the people in the audience that are participating to answer that question as well. Just put that up there in the chat, and we'll share some of those answers with you. So what has it been like in the last week or two? It's been pretty exciting. Rockstar Connect has done a few live events. We are tuning them up to see, exactly how it's going to be in this post-COVID world. We are running an event here in the Raleigh area that may be the model for the way networking events will be going forward for the next few months around the country. It's going to be an invitation, an event by invitation. Everyone who's on this panel and everyone in the audience is going to get a link in order to participate. It's going to be a seated event at Sullivan's Steakhouse. We're going to utilize the Success is Contagious format, so that everyone is able to participate and collaborate in a workshop type venue. What I would love for you to do is take a link, buy yourself a ticket, and also there's sponsorships as well. And quite a few businesses have sponsorships. This is going to be a distanced event. So for example, Sullivan's seats 400 people. We're going to have 70 people seated in the restaurant, all separate from one another. We're going to contact the people that are attending the event prior to the event and make sure that they are not ill, that they don't have a cough or anything along those lines. In addition to that, we're going to take temperatures at the door, and we're going to have a hand sanitizing station, and we're going to provide everyone who does not have a mask with a very comfortable, super soft, killer, cool, stylish mask at the event. And there's going to be a meal associated with it, with either steak or salmon or a vegan option, and everyone is going to get to participate. So it's a great way to network right now, and one of the few ways you can do it safely in person, and Rockstar Connect is really excited about doing this type of event. So let's get right into it. Lisamarie, welcome from Nevada. We're going to be doing the success portion of the event a little differently today. So I'm going to let you hear how everyone's doing it so that way you'll be prepared. We also put the question for the second half in the chat so you can start thinking about that, so you won't be totally surprised when we get to the fun topic question that Sarah picked today. Because I usually try to come up with these topics and then I stay up all night thinking about them and I can't get to sleep. And Sarah said, I'll pick the topic because I think I'm going to do a much better job than you. And I would have to agree. I think the topic that she selected is fantastic. She's not shaking her head. She said she did not say that, but she was certainly thinking it. Okay, so moving forward, I'm going to start at the bottom of the screen with Jackie Wittenberg. And Jackie, what I'd like you to do is to briefly, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself in a moment. Briefly share about yourself, but more about what your definition of success is. And I want you all to know that Jackie is going to be one of our sponsors at the next Rockstar Connect event, which is July 16th, 11:30 to 2 p.m. The link to this event will be there. We're really excited because we feel we can do this event all over the country. Domenic says it's always dangerous to try to read your woman's mind or to make assumptions about it. She's saying agreed, but I have to tell you, we very rarely get into a disagreement and an argument. And if we do, they're extremely brief. And we both do try to read each other's mind. And if we're unable to do so, we say, hey, what's on your mind? And that does a lot for domestic tranquility for both of us. Keep in mind, unlike most couples, we do work with each other at home all the time, and we've been doing that for 6 years. And I think that's an accomplishment in and of itself that we're very proud of. Okay, so Jackie, if you can unmute yourself. And once again, first of all, a little bit about yourself, but more, how do you define success, either for yourself or for the people that you serve, or your success as a philosophy of life? Go right ahead.
Well, success to me really is about making sure that you provide people an opportunity for a better quality of life. So having said that, every morning that I wake up, I'm constantly thinking of what can I do to give someone else an opportunity to have a better quality of life today. And so much of my work sort of is centered around that. Because to me, you can't live in this world alone without creating better and greater opportunities for other people. And it also, it does something for me as a human being to know that I'm actually taking my blessings and spreading them around. And so that's really what success is about to me.
Fantastic. I really love your backdrop today. You must be working outside.
I am. I'm enjoying nature a little bit.
It's a little bit cooler today. 100%.
Yes.
Sarah's going to drop Jackie's information into the chat so that if you would like to reach out to Jackie and learn about the Derek Wittenberg Foundation and find out about all the fantastic things they're planning, including a gala and a golf tournament, all the information will be there for you.
And I'll share those links as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
We're celebrating our 5th year, so I'm pretty excited. We're going to be celebrating all year long, and I am so excited because I think even in the wake of the pandemic, there's some people out there who really care about what we're doing, and I think this is going to be an even greater year.
I think it's leaning that way. I mean, the pandemic is very upsetting. I know there's more cases around the country, but I am very happy from all the reading that I've done from a variety of different sources that mortality is going down. So that's a good thing. Less lives being lost, and that'll give us the opportunity to celebrate our successes with a lot more happiness and a lot more confidence. Lisamarie in Nevada, tell us a little bit about yourself. I think I can jump right to you now because you understand what we're doing. Could you tell us about yourself and your definition of success, please?
Sure. Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, I guess, depending on where you are. My name is Lisamarie Wand, and I live in Reno, Nevada. And I'm a commercial real estate broker, also director of the commercial division for 4 offices here in Reno. I'm also very involved in the nonprofit world and hosting multiple events, also do some professional speaking. So happy to be here again today. And I hope everyone had a great Independence Day. So my definition of success really hinges upon the focus of my life, which is we rise by lifting others. And Stephen, you've heard me say that many times before. And so my life is not just about me, it's about helping other people. It's about having a positive, powerful impact on the people around me, and to live my life with intention and purpose, and to really be in the forefront of what I'm doing. So I like to put myself out there, be visible, and help as many people as I can, and do that with an intention and purpose of spreading my success to other people, which is what Jacqueline talked about. There's plenty of success to go around, and I know that I'm going to continue to be successful, and my life is really great. And so I can focus on helping other people and doing that in a very intentional way.
Excellent. And if anyone is interested in learning about real estate in Nevada, whether that be commercial or residential, Lisamarie is the one to reach out to, and her information will be dropped in the chat as well. Thank you, Lisamarie. Our next panelist is Mark Sher from Your Family Bank. Your Family Bank is very dear and near to Rockstar Connect. They have more events than any other company, Rockstar Connect events. And Mark is in South Florida, Coral Gables. Tell us a little bit more about what you do and what your definition of success is, Mark. You need to unmute yourself.
At Your Family Bank, we teach people financial literacy. A lot of people go, what's that? We just teach people how money really works. Our end goal is to show people how to basically get out of all their debts, credit cards, car loans, mortgages, student loan debt, without spending any more than they're currently spending. Currently, usually in about 9 years or less. We don't do debt consolidation, settlements, bankruptcy. We're not a credit repair company. We teach people financial literacy. So based on doing that every day, my life is helping people. I get a really big kick out of helping someone, and they just look at me and go, you just changed my life. You know, my CPA, my financial planner, they don't know what you know. And I always laugh and I say, well, great analogy is, you know a doctor? And they go, yeah. I go, you personally know an MD? They go, huh? I go, well, let me ask you a question. How important is nutrition to your day-to-day health? And almost everybody's going to go, it's super important. And I always say to them, ask your doctor how many classes or how many hours, credit hours they got of nutrition in medical school. And the answer is usually 0 or 1. CPAs, they don't learn how money really works. They learn accounting, assets and liabilities, first in, first out, last in, first out in the tax code. Financial planners, really interesting. You look up the Bureau of Labor Statistics, less than 30% of them graduated from college or even went to college. So it's very, very interesting. And we get great conversations going. So my great success is A, teaching someone how to get out of debt, or B, teaching someone that's a professional like a CPA or a financial planner and re-educating them so they understand. And I've had lots of CPAs look at me and go, you know, I've been telling my clients wrong for the last 30 years. I go, that's right. At least you're big enough to admit that. They go, you're right. I just can't believe that they don't teach this in school. I just put my hands up. So there you are. That's my perfect day. Teaching.
Well, I think that also your definition of success is being able to work out on the boat. It looks like you're really tan. I know they opened up the keys. Have you got any boating in the last week?
Sure, absolutely.
So are you helping your clients have that same opportunity? The boat one day?
That's my goal, is to have all my clients on the ocean.
Well, I can't wait to get down to Florida and go do some boating with you.
No worries. There's always, you make good shark bait, Steve.
Make good shark bait? You're going to make me
Yeah.
into chain? Okay, well, I'm a little nervous about that. We'll have to think about that one. Welcome, Dr. Holly.
Hi, it's good to see everybody. It really is. So I'm Dr. Holly Sullenger, and my company is Dr. Holly Speaks. I do corporate speaking training, consulting, and facilitation. And the topic areas that I'm usually asked to provide content in are technology, leadership, and professional development. So I get the biggest charge out of I get my own success. Let's put it this way. I feel most successful when I help others stay relevant in their field or help them pick up a new tool that's going to make their work life a whole lot easier for them. So lately, the topic of data analytics has been keeping me busy. Everybody wants to get their arms around the topic of big data and try to make meaning of all of the information that's floating around in the cloud. And people often come to me very frustrated because they're unable to take that data and make meaning of it. And when we're able to work through that together and give people the opportunity to really take that data and make it work, I get a big charge out of that myself, and I know it helps them as well.
Great. So you don't do any medical doctoring, though, because
oh no,
I've got a little twinge right here in my shoulder, and I was
yeah. Exactly. I carry Band-Aids in my purse. That's about as far as it goes.
Well, that's good. It's good to know that everyone, Holly, always has Band-Aids with her.
That's right.
So we have a new panelist with us today from New York. I have not personally met her, but I've been told that she has a lot of interesting things to say. She works in the bartering field. She believes in collaboration between small businesses in order to leverage their ability to provide services to one another. So they're like a big business. I think that's really super cool. Karen, if you can unmute yourself, tell us briefly about yourself, but more, what do you define as your success? Because that's really how people are going to determine whether they want to do business with you.
So hello, and thank you for having me. My name is Karen Brown. I own a company called Hudson Barter Exchange. We're a barter exchange in Westchester County, New York. But there are barter exchanges in all of the locations I've heard mentioned so far today. And so a barter exchange is a networking group that the members all do business together on the basis of trade. So instead of paying with their goods with cash to one another, they pay with goods and services to one another, and the exchange is a third-party facilitator of it. So no two people have to trade together. I do something for you, you do something for somebody else, and we all get paid in one currency. Yes, successes in the Hudson Barter Exchange and barter exchanges in general are measured in how many people we connect and have successful deals happen between the two of them. And, it's great because it's not only business that's happening, but it's individuals meeting each other. And the hope is that they'll do business together with each other, but then become a conduit to meeting other people who will bring them new cash business. And so barter exchanges are colleagues, but they also become friends and allies. And we measure our success in how many happy customers we have at the end of the day that got something they needed and didn't have to pay cash for it.
Karen, can I ask you just a few questions?
Yes, of
Is
course.
that okay? So are you able to connect, people that are on this call and people that are watching out on Facebook with exchanges in their areas?
Absolutely.
So you can make those introductions.
Absolutely, be happy to.
Also, what if you have, some people obviously have a service that everyone always wants to buy, and you may have a service that they only need occasionally. How are you able to do that in an exchange?
Well, an exchange, like I said, people don't have to trade directly with anybody. So there are some people who, it's true, everyone's asking to get their driveways paved. Always want to get their driveway paved. It's a very hard service to get because the margin in concrete is quite low. So when we have somebody who provides that service, they might say, I can only do it for 1 or 2 customers a year. And they get their money, then they do it, and then they spend their barter dollars, and then they'll continue to take money. So people,
it sounds like it's sort of like a credit bank thing.
It is exactly. We call ours barter dollars. People may refer to them as credits or barter bucks, but everybody charges their own full fair retail price, and they get those credits in their bank account, and they can spend them how they wish. So, like I said, using paving as an example, he might get $10,000 for one job, but he just might go out to dinner, 1,000 times for $100 a time.
I'm all for that. The reason why I'm asking Karen these questions, and the reason why we have her on the program today, is we felt it'd be very valuable for Rockstar Connect hosts and attendees to join local barter exchanges to conserve their cash and to get the services that they need. And we thought it'd be very valuable. It's something that, of course, Rockstar Connect is interested in doing, as well as other people. So thank you, Karen, for sharing that. We're going to.
I just want to throw in one last thing about a barter exchange. You can belong to a barter exchange that's not necessarily in your own location, because there's something called universal currency, and it is dollars that trade. As a trade exchange, I belong to a trade exchange, and we all work together with universal currency. So I can buy something from my New York members, from somebody in Nevada, trade exchange out there, using this universal currency. So if you don't find one right in your backyard, it doesn't matter. You could still work with one.
It sounds like it's sort of like Bitcoin that's backed by sweat labor.
No. Not at all.
Not at all?
And the IRS, another thing, IRS use trade credits the same as real dollars. You get a 1099-B at the end of every year. It goes to your bottom line as revenue, and anything you use your barter dollars for can be written off as an expense. So it is, and it adds to the value of your company. So no, it's not like Bitcoin. It's not like Bitcoin.
But it's an alternate currency, though.
Yes, it is, but it's backed by the U.S. dollar, which makes
awesome.
it different.
And so, David, rush out there and get some of this. Well, it's good. Welcome, David. I'm going to ask you a few questions as well, David, after you speak about student loans, since that's your expertise. But if you could tell a little bit about yourself and what your definition is of success for yourself or your clients.
Yeah, thank you. I work with Mark Sher with Your Family Bank. We got individuals to becoming completely debt-free and becoming their own bank through structured financial planning. I focus a lot with student debt and younger generations, getting them to eliminate that debt and then put a structure in place to not have to go back into debt in the future. One of the big things I associate success with is first planning. Setting goals, setting a plan. We do it with our clients. I do it with aspects of my life. And then based off the achievements and reaching those goals and hitting each thing on my plan, I consider that achieving success. And you could do that on small levels, on big levels, and you get little successes, which ultimately lead to achieving those goals and the main success.
That's fantastic insight, and especially good for the young people that you're working with. I just have a little questions. I know that some people are getting forbearance on their student loans. So that's question one. Is that an opportunity for them to get a handle on that debt in your mind?
Yeah, so there's three main strategies that we're going to implement if your debt is going to be, no interest growing and you don't have to make the payments. The first one is, unfortunately, with the private loans, they don't fall under that jurisdiction of getting that benefit. So hypothetically, if you have half private, half government, you're not going to have to make your payment on your government. Well, now you can take that payment and use it to help subsidize some of the payment that has to go to the other debt. The second way is, if there's no interest on the debt, you can start attacking them, getting a dollar for dollar principal takedown on the student loan debt. So in the end of the day, you're saving years and thousands of dollars on interest if you could bring that balance down dollar for dollar now. The third way is take that dollar that would have been going to the student loan debt and start saving it. Some people are getting furloughed from their jobs as well, so that money might be needed to use in other places. But if you could be working, you're not making your payment, you can start growing that emergency fund so you have it there just in case.
That's really good information. And it's an example of looking at what's happening today potentially as an opportunity, correct?
Oh, yeah.
David is very well versed in this. Student debt is not just an issue for people in their 20s. A lot of people went to grad school, started another career, and accumulated debt, when they were older, and they have less time to pay it off. So that master's degree you got when you were 45, you really don't want to be paying that when you're retired. So
Exactly.
Reach out to someone like David, who's an expert in student loan debt. We're going to drop his information in the chat as well. And if you know someone who could benefit from what he does, don't hesitate to contact him. Right, David?
Definitely.
Thank you for coming today, David.
Thank you.
I'm going to come over to Jeff Messner. Hi, welcome, Jeff. Oh, we're not hearing you. You're unmuted, but no sound.
Okay, how about now?
Yes, we hear you now. Very good.
I forgot to push one button.
It's always the people that work in video or production that have technical difficulties on these. I don't know why. It's just to keep you humble, right, Jeff?
Of course.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes, and we've got a couple more buttons to push than the average person. How about that?
Yeah, you got a lot more technology going on there. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you define success.
Sure. So Enreach, I'm the co-founder of Enreach, and we started the company to help local businesses do a better job of video marketing. The world's changed and people aren't out and about the way they used to be. Sales meetings aren't happening. Marketing events aren't happening. Training's not happening the way it used to be. So we're here to provide regular support to businesses who want to video and video often and do that affordably. And, that really does parlay or dovetail well into, the success thing, right? We believe that it's important to leave the world a better place than when you came into it. And, the small way that we're trying to contribute, at least to our business, is that video is extremely expensive when you look at it on a per unit basis. And it doesn't necessarily have to be. And we're looking to help change the dynamics around how expensive it is to have someone come in and produce video content for you. That being said, I would say that's a small aspect of what we personally believe about success. And going back to that, leave the world a better place than when you came into it. We believe that for every unit of value that we're getting out of a relationship, we should be giving back too. So whether that's monetary value or that's just helping others do more than what they could afford to do, then that's the way we believe. And that's the way we're even structuring our business to where we can constantly give away services that we otherwise would have charged for people who can't afford it.
That's terrific. I mean, we're sort of excited because Jeff is going to be coming to our next event and doing a little bit of video. And if you do events, that's a tremendous opportunity for you to come up with content. You already have people there. There's excitement. People want to see that. So by all means, you have someone doing some video there, taking photos. Every North Hills networking event, which is my personal Rockstar Connect event that I've done for 10 years, I've had a professional photographer at that event. And we have, thousands of photos that have come from that event, some iconic enough that we use them to represent our company. Jeff's information is in the chat if you'd like to connect with him and ask him anything about video. I think Andrew and Jeff would be, two good people to connect with one another, because Andrew is an enormous proponent of video and utilizes it every day in his business. Domenic, welcome.
Hey, Stephen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Do you need a prompt from me, or do you feel confident enough just to move ahead?
Nah, I think I'm good. So my name is Domenic Battistella, financial services professional with New York Life, and I specialize in working with businesses on business service, everything from key person coverage, buy-sell arrangements, employee benefits, and business continuity solutions and risk management. As far as success goes, I do my business, I think, a little bit differently than other financial advisors in that I'm always looking to connect people first, and the business just kind of comes from that. So what I think success is making a meaningful relationship. And I'm not just talking about getting to know somebody so you know enough about them to sell them something. I'm talking about developing a bond where, that person's going to call you for recipes. They're going to, you're going to want to hang out together. You're going to develop this long-term bond that's going to, it really acts as a hedge to anybody else coming in and trying to, say, undercut you on price, or may offer something different. You're always going to be that go-to person for that person, because you've developed that strong, lasting, impactful relationship. So to me, that development is how I define success. And then I know we haven't been doing this, but I do have to share a success from this week. I know we talked about it a little bit before, but I was really excited to get back to doing live events and getting to see some of the people who I've been developing relationships with over the past couple of years, getting to see them in person for the first time, and spend some time just really remembering what it was like to to be able to get together with a group of people that that you like, and you spend a couple of hours out of the house. That was great.
Well, that is a great success. And listening to what you have to say, one of the terrific successes about being a connector is the larger you grow your sphere and the higher quality that sphere is, you really want for nothing. If you need advice, or hell, excuse me, maybe you need to borrow a lawnmower, everything is available to you, including I reached out to someone in my network today. I needed some information, and they connected me to someone in another state, and I was able to speak with them and then immediately turn that advice into revenue and money. And I shared a little bit of the money with that person, and share the success. People are helping you, make sure that you're reciprocating. Thank you, Domenic.
Of course.
And Andrew Pierce, Rockstar Connect host from the coast, 3 years in. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you define success.
Yeah, I guess this would be the third year for my events if they were still alive, wouldn't it?
Right, but they'll be alive soon enough.
Yeah, we would be right after that. I think it was July, actually. Yeah, so my business is virtual reality house hunting, using social media to market and sell and find buyers that other places can't reach. And my definition of success is similar to Domenic, in that by under-promising and over-delivering, and just being able to be the facilitator for whatever the client needs, they become a friend. And somebody who chooses to do business with me wants to hang out, wants to put the boat in the water and go fishing, sort of that way as opposed to a traditional linear transaction. So that's how I see success, when people, after it's said and done, still want to hang out and are highly likely to refer business.
I think also another success for you is that you really said, hey, I'm going to be myself. Like I remember when you first had your first networking event and you tried to get all dressed up and
It didn't work.
it didn't work for you. You were doing videos in sports coats and all of that. And you said, hey, look, I live on the coast. People have a certain lifestyle here.
Yeah.
And living the way we want to live is our success.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I mean, you 100% live the life that you want to live on your own terms. And I respect you for that, as do, other people on this panel. Thank you, Andrew. Mr. Mike Manning.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mike Manning. I'm a business coach at Wired to Change, and my coaching partner, Trinity, and I love working with small business owners, mainly focusing on sales and marketing, because you got to know your numbers. You don't know your numbers, don't know your business. So we help them identify their ideal client, put sales funnels together so they know where their money's coming and going, and we love helping them with that. My definition of success is when a plan comes together to help people. With our clients, I love even the small success, because that generally leads them in a direction for bigger successes and more confidence to go attack things. So just a success to me, a lot of times, is just that aha moment that comes on with somebody you've been working with.
Well, I understand that you recently had an interview on your podcast with a very accomplished person that's extremely successful. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
I did. I had the great pleasure of introducing the juggler of all jugglers and the wizard of all wizards, Sarah Clark Elliot, last week. And the first episode dropped today of our podcast. So if you go to any, wherever you listen to podcasts, just type in Wired to Change, you'll find that. And the second one will come out Thursday. And Sarah just got real about how to network and things you shouldn't do, things you should do, kind of how you guys got your story started. And I love the first date, not date story she told. And I'm just going to leave it at that for everybody to listen to what that really means. But I had a lot of fun, and Sarah was a wealth of knowledge for our listeners. And I know they'll benefit from having her on 2 shows.
Yeah, 100%. Basically, and I think everyone can relate to this who's ever been dating. Frequently, guys think they're on a date when they're not on a date. And that probably was like what our first date was, Sarah and I. But I'm a fairly good salesperson, and I dealt with her objections with sound and logical rebuttals. And here we are today, 6 years later. So if anyone needs any dating advice, I'd be happy to give it to them.
And that's exactly how she told it too. No wonder you two get along so well.
Brian McNeill, always great to listen to you and talk about your view of success. I heard you talking to a bunch of the people before the show about the significance of the rhinoceros and what that means to you with success. So I'm just going to leave it to you. I just threw out there that for some ideas, but I'm sure you'll take it in your own way, Brian. Go right ahead.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me again. My name is Brian McNeill, and I own 2 companies. One of my companies is called Very Personal Sales Coaching.
Hey, Brian, we're having a little bit of a sound.
Brian. People that sell an intangible service. Anyone seeking a secure client.
Hey, if you could mute Brian and just go over Sarah explaining.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead, Brian.
Can you hear me?
I say more than just can you hear me, and then I'll let you know.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Go right ahead.
Okay, great. I apologize for that.
No problem.
All right. Can you hear that? I am Brian K. McNeill.
That I can hear. I think your internet's having a little bit of problem.
What I was saying is, I'm happy to have the topic of what is success to me.
Brian, we're not hearing you. We're gonna come. We'll come back to you when you get your audio set up. Just put a note into Sarah, and she'll reach back out to you. I apologize. We're not able to hear you.
Lord Jesus.
Oh, sorry about that.
Well, let me just jump right into what is success to me. I'm
Okay.
hopeful that you guys can hear it. Okay.
Okay, well, let's just put Brian muted for now, and we'll try to figure it out. Clint Webb, welcome. Hey, Clint, so show that mask you have.
Let me find it. Oh, there it is. So shout out to David Rydell for providing these for us. So can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Sweet.
you.
All right. So my name is Clint Webb. I work for CoEco Office Systems. So we do multifunctional printers, large format printers, small managed IT jobs, and desktop printers, especially for people that are working from home. So that's a sum up. I'm a connector by passion. So I don't want to be known as a salesperson, even though we're all in sales. And so my definition of success, I guess, would be giving it your best every day, and when you can't, have the humility to be able to admit it and to lean on your network and your resources.
Excellent. That are the masks that we're going to be distributing at the next Rockstar Connect event. Are they comfortable, Clint, as compared to other masks that you've worn?
Absolutely. I actually like the behind the ear ones more than the over the head ones. These do really well. And what I like most about these is that they don't move whenever you're talking. So it'll actually stay in place here and here. David did a fantastic job. And I hope that he brings more and maybe different colors and stuff with the logo. So I think that would be really cool.
Well, we can see what we do at the event. I mean, this event is really a model. Hopefully it's very successful. We can do it with our other hosts around the country. A very safe, exciting, physical networking event. And Sarah will drop a link into the chat. What's that, Sarah? Brian's ready? Brian, let's try it again. I think there was some thunderstorm going through your area because we're getting some pretty bad storms. Go right ahead, Brian.
All right, I'm hoping that you guys can hear me now. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Yes?
Just go very slowly.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to just go with my definition of success for now. I chose to adopt Earl Nightingale's definition of success, in that success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. As long as you're moving towards what your worthy goal or ideal is, you're a success in that moment. Very often I'm working with clients and teaching them how to sell better, and I may have gotten frustrated in their level of productivity. But what I've learned is, as long as I'm impacting improvement, I am being successful.
Excellent.
That's what I definition of success is. I'm hopeful you guys heard me, but it don't look like a lot of people did.
Now, we heard like 99.9% that time, and you're good at even 50%. You're great. So we're cool. Thank you so much, Brian.
Okay.
When we have you on next week, I'm sure
I'm gonna work on this.
Yeah, 100%. So before we get to the next hour, panelists, people in the audience, you've all heard about other people's definitions of success here. I can see some people nodding their heads. If you're a panelist that wants to discuss any of what other people brought up, this is your opportunity. If I could see a hand raise, I think Lisamarie was interested in Jacqueline. You wanted to make a comment as well? We can start, Jackie. Can you hear me, Jackie?
Now I can. I'm unmuted. Okay. I just wanted to say, I think everyone's definition of success is right on point, because success means many different things to individuals. But at the end of the day, if they all end up helping someone else, I think that's a great thing. And it's wonderful to be in the company of people who share my vision to make life better for other people.
Excellent. I mean, that's what happens with these panels, because we choose people that are very like-minded, so we have very similar views of success. So
mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished, 100%. Sarah, if you could throw the question down into the chat again. And what we're going to be doing in the second half of the program, as usual, is we're going to discuss a topic. Now, I'm not guaranteeing the topic is an easy topic, but you've had a good hour to think about it. The topic for today is, if money was not a factor and you could do anything or any job you wanted, what would you be doing? And let's start off with Dr. Holly.
I love that question, Sarah. Good job. I would do exactly what I'm doing, but with a twist. Again, I really enjoy, it sounds like everybody on our panel enjoys helping others be successful, and that's great. Like you said, we're very like-minded. But I got the opportunity last fall to go over and do a presentation in Italy. And it was a hoot, being able to travel and meet a whole different group of people and just really immerse myself and find out a lot more about another culture while I was doing what I do. So I would do exactly what I'm doing, but I would travel a bit more. And I know right now that's a bad thing to say with all of the restrictions, but that's my hope that we'll get back to that again someday.
Well, that's excellent. It may be coming up soon. The Israelis have developed a test now that's a breathalyzer. It can tell you in 1 minute whether you can infect other people. And they said that at an airport, they could test 4,000 people in a day. So maybe travel is a little closer than we think. Everything seems to be changing now very, very quickly.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm hoping so. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. It's like history is every 30 minutes.
That's right.
I get away from my phone for 30 minutes. I get on, I go, oh my gosh, I can't believe what's happening. Lisamarie Wand, this is a great topic for you.
Yes, it is. Like Dr. Holly, I thoroughly love and enjoy my role in commercial real estate. And the thing that's exciting about what I'm doing right now is I'm building some teams. And my focus is to help the people on my teams live their best life. So working with them for their personal goals and using their position within my organization to help them realize those goals for their life. The one thing that I would add to all the great things that I do now, because everything that's in my life, people ask me a lot of times, Lisamarie, how do you get it all done? Everything I do with intention. So if there's something in my life that's not serving me, I just move on to something that I'm more excited and interested and focused on. So the one thing that I would add is my high vision is to create work and live spaces that are creative, safe, and affordable. So we need more affordable housing and not just yucky low rent housing. I have this vision of creating spaces for people to run their businesses and also to live in beautiful spaces that are affordable. Not only does it help individuals and their businesses, but it also improves the local community. So that's on my radar. Thank you.
So no, I know everyone knows you're involved in commercial real estate at a very high level. What about these shopping centers now that some of them are like sort of abandoned malls? Do you foresee possibly converting them into workspaces / living spaces?
Yeah, nationally, we've had a challenge for some time with these large, big box, especially retail spaces, these large span spaces. So I've seen already that because so many of these large retailers have closed in previous years, I've seen those turned into indoor storage facilities for not only mini storage, but also for RVs and motorhomes and things like that. So I feel like we're going to see more of that repurposing. And one of the ideas that I'm really excited about is live work situations. We don't have those in a lot of communities. So you could have a work at home situation downstairs, like an industrial or mixed use, and then have a living space upstairs. At least in our community, that would include creating new zoning categories. So it's something I'm very interested in. But yes, we're going to see either a lot of those buildings either be torn down for the land value or somehow repurposed into some smaller where we can have, you know, more tenants and not just have the big Walmarts and Kohl's and all of these stores that have closed.
So I've noticed they've also been, because they're in such good locations, centrally located, they've been opening up like Amazon distribution centers.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be great that if when they built those distribution centers, they built housing for the people that actually work at Amazon?
Yeah, that would be great. We still have a national housing shortage, so repurposing some of these commercial spaces. And I love the companies that have been able to pivot and shift so quickly. Like locally, we have distilleries that started making hand sanitizers, and we've had factories that have moved into creating, you know, making masks and different things. So it's exciting to me to see the creative genius of businesses where they can pivot and shift their operations so quickly.
That's the name of the game. I mean, we're doing it with Rockstar Connect. We're looking at resources, and we're opening other types of companies and providing other type of services, because you can't just wait for, you know, success to fall in your lap. You have to be involved in it occurring. Really, it falls into your lap all the time, opportunity. The question is whether you're going to seize opportunity. And I always like to say opportunity is like a bald-headed man with one hair left on his head. You got to grab it while you can when it's put there in front of you.
Stephen, I love your Stevenisms. And that's one of the things I enjoy about being part of the 3 Martini lunch is that you invite people that are on the forefront of their business. And if you remember earlier when we talked about definitions of success, that was one of the things I talked about, is being on the forefront and being able to help people from that cutting edge place. And there's a lot of people on this panel doing that. So thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. And, you know, there's a little bit of risk involved, but with anything that's fun and exciting, there's always risk. You know, and it's a lot less risky than jumping out of a plane, and people do that every single day. You'll never see Sarah do that because she doesn't like heights, but she does take tremendous risks every day towards success. Thank you, Lisamarie. Mark, Sher, I know he's doing exactly what he wants to do, the way he wants to do it. So the question is, how do you tackle this great topic that Sarah has presented?
Repeat it one more time, Stephen.
So I know that you're very successful.
The
topic, to repeat it, is if money was absolutely no object, and let's go beyond money. Let's just say education wasn't a barrier or anything else, what would you be doing differently or nothing at all?
What would I be doing differently? Well, you know, a lot of people say to me, why do you, do what you do? Because you don't really need to. And I go, because I like doing it. All right. So I get enjoyment out of helping people. And, it sounds like a broken record, but most people just have no clue how money really works. They don't understand the ins and outs of it. I have a friend who makes a very good living. He's an orthopedic surgeon. And about 13, 14 months ago, he called me up and he goes, I need to talk to you. I go, you're on the phone with me. What's up? He goes, well, real simply, I got a business question for you. I go, okay, how can I help you? Well, I tried to lease a car and I got denied. And he goes, do you know why? I go, exactly why. Don't you? He goes, no, I don't. I said, well, it's because you've got 2 ex-wives, one with one child under 18, the second with another child 18, and you don't live, a not affluent lifestyle. You live a quite affluent lifestyle. You're a doctor, and your debt to income ratio is through the roof, and your credit score is at the bottom of the toilet bowl. You couldn't even lease a Jetta. Of course, he was trying to lease a $3,000 a month Ferrari. But I told him, if you wanted to get a Volkswagen Jetta, you couldn't lease it. And so There are people that are intelligent people that just have no clue how money really works, and it comes to bite them every day. People in the real estate world, it happens all the time. You know, they don't understand why a professional that's making $600, $700, $800, $1 million, maybe $2 million a year can't qualify for a mortgage. It's because their debt to income ratio is up here and their credit score is down here. So those are just simple little things that, you know, when you can help people understand that, you make their lives better. You know, you already know, Stephen, I could live, you know, on the water, under the water, and just be happy. You know, I've often thought about my roots are, the reason I live in Miami is my father owned a number of hotels on Miami Beach from 1962 to 1985. I thought about buying a small hotel on some island someplace. Got to be a warm island, no cold islands, and just, you know, running it and running, you know, or maybe hiring professionals to run it and run the water sports. So that's my answer.
Well, you may still do that, but, you know, to your point towards credit is very complicated. Almost everyone on this panel deals with credit in their business on a daily basis, and sometimes it just feels like there's no rhyme or reason. I remember back to the crisis in 2008. I had a family member who, you know, he had to walk away from some properties, and he literally put the keys under the mat and told the bank, you can take them back. And he went to go rent a Toyota because he said, well, I guess, you know, my situation is you know, he's a real car guy. I'm going to play it very conservative, and I'm going to get a Toyota Camry and, you know, see how the market goes. He needed a car. Couldn't get the Toyota Camry. They said, the credit's not good enough to get the Toyota Camry. He went across the street to BMW, and they approved him for a 7 Series BMW. And their answer, he was like, well, how am I able to qualify for this? He said, because right now nobody is trying to get one of these cars, and we'll do anything to get them off our hands. So he had to find that on his own. It's good to reach out to people that are really in the know in credit, whether that be someone like Mark or David, or, you know, a lender or a real estate agent or a financial advisor, to figure out exactly what credit is like today. I mean, a lot of people have credit coming in now through small business loans. Now the question is, what do you do with those loans? You know, how do you improve your business? How do you improve the life of all the people around you? So thank you, Mark, for your expertise, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to contact you. Okay, Clint, since you went sort of near the end last time, let's put you up closer to the front this time.
Sure, man. This is, I have a 2-part answer. If I could do both of them at the same time, it would be great.
Yeah, please do.
I'd love to, I'm going to rip off Mark here. I'd love to live on a tropical island and actually own a golf course, but not have to do anything with it, just be able to play whenever I want to and reap the benefits financially. So that would be number one. Also, it's been my childhood dreams as I was 6 or 7 years old to be a broadcaster for the Cubs. So that would be my ultimate dream.
Well, what's interesting is, you know, I can just point to Clint. I know Clint personally. A lot of the things, he does a lot of networking. And one of the ways is going to networking events, also golfing. A lot of those things do, you know, right on the surface don't appear to do anything for his business. He's really doing it because he enjoys doing it. He likes to be altruistic. He likes to connect people. And that's one of the things I find amongst all the people that participate in Rockstar Connect and the attendees. Like, so let's just sort of go back to when, you know, we were having live events, you know, 100 of them a month around the country, reminding some of your hosts, if someone came to one of your events and they were just there to sell stuff or make money, like how were they treated by other people? I mean, they were you sort of take them aside and say, hey, don't push that clipboard out there. You know, start to make meaningful connections. Why don't we go over to you, Domenic? You can talk about that a little bit and then answer, you know, today's topic.
You're going to have to repeat that. Sorry, Stephen. I was in the middle of a chat.
Because I know he's fooling around talking to someone in the audience there, and every single time I'm going to catch him.
Just pick the person laughing the most, and that's probably the person I'm chatting with.
Right. You're usually the one who's laughing the most, Domenic. At your networking events, most of the attendees that go to Rockstar Connect events mirror the behavior of the hosts. The host of Rockstar Connect, they primarily do it. They're already successful people, are already making money in their business. They do it so they can be altruistic leaders and members of their community and help other people. But when an attendee comes and they have a clipboard, or they're just putting cards into other people's hands, what do you do in a situation like that?
I redirect. I start having a conversation with them. I pull them aside, and it's not like a conversation like, hey, how, what do you think you're doing? It's more just engage in a conversation. And in the course of the conversation, I end up being very intentional about sharing my philosophy about networking and what's the most impactful way to do it, what the philosophy of the events I go to and the networking groups that I associate myself with, and share the philosophy of Rockstar Connect, which is making meaningful connections and what that is worth to you. And I think typically the point gets across that maybe there needs to be a rethinking of their intent in coming to the event. But I'll be honest with you, I very rarely see that anymore, people coming out. I mean, obviously you don't really see that anymore. We haven't had many live events, but you don't really see people trying to stuff a business card in everybody's front pocket or trying to grab everybody's business card. You just see people talking and having genuine conversations, because you get people at the door and you ask them their story, find out a little bit about them, who they're trying to connect with, and then you, as the host of the event, personally make those introductions for people that are going to be most impactful for them and are going to be important and valuable for the people that you're introducing them to as well. So if you can facilitate the event, just like you're doing today, Stephen, if you can facilitate the live event the same way you're facilitating this event and create order, you don't really end up having that type of scenario going on.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because so I've had to take people aside at events and sort of give them a little bit of an education about what it's like to be, an attendee, to be like the other attendees. And some of them have reached out to me 6 months, a year later, 2 years later, saying, thank you for teaching me the appropriate way to go to these events, because I was really not getting the impact I wanted. And I didn't have the training. So, there needs to be a lot more out there on networking. There's not a lot of books on the subject. Sarah and I are working on our second book on networking, and hopefully we'll have that out for all of you to read in the next couple months.
Well, I'll tell you, the first Rockstar Connect event I came out to, the first person I met was you. You were hosting that particular event, and we ended up sitting there and having about a half-hour conversation out of a 2-hour event. And that was, I mean, I made a number of other connections, but that was the most impactful. Why? Because we formed the most solid relationship coming out of that. We kept in contact. And then not too long after that, I started my own Rockstar Connect event. Why? Not necessarily because it was something that I just wanted to do, but we both wanted to make that happen, because you formed a connection with me as well. So I think that's one of the things you have to understand when you do these networking events, is that you really, one solid, meaningful relationship, and the event is a success, period.
And it's not only is your event a success, it impacts your life well beyond the event.
For sure. It's
100%.
impacting my life. That event that I probably, if I hadn't met you, wouldn't have given a second thought to at that point, is impacting me to this day, and will be far beyond.
Excellent. I'm so happy to hear that, Domenic. Do you want to take a crack at this topic?
Yeah. What would I be doing if money wasn't an object?
If money was not a factor and you could be doing anything you wanted to do, what would you be doing?
I know it might be stealing from Mark, but I would be probably doing the exact same thing, because I don't. Yes, I do this to make a living, and I do it to make money. That's kind of part of why you do anything to. But the money part is the least of my motivation when I'm working. I'm just trying to help people and help make their lives better in whatever way I can. And you think about what are really the most important things for people. I probably put them into 4 boxes: family, wellness, so that you like physical and mental wellness, spirituality, and money, right? Their finances. And so, I get an opportunity to make an impact on people's lives on one of the most critical and core concerns that everybody has. Yeah, I would keep doing this if money wasn't a factor. The only difference would be that, I don't know, maybe some more fishing in my life, a couple extra rounds of golf.
Well, I think what you need to do, if those are things you want to do, you can do those now.
Well, yeah, you could. I guess the reason I don't do them now is because there are financial constraints. I have 3 teenagers that are, they are like a succubus on my pocketbook in my bank account. So if I had unlimited resources, yeah, I'd be doing a bit more of the leisurely fun activities.
Yeah, I think it's very important. Like, one of the things, Sarah and I discussed this weekend is we own our time 100%. Sarah and I own our time. How can we most use it to not only be successful as business people, but also to be successful as people in general, to enjoy ourselves, like taking time to, smell the fresh air. We can work from anywhere. So why don't we work at the park, or why don't we work from a vacation spot?
Well, I will tell you what I wouldn't be doing is I won't be a residential contractor or a furniture builder. I am learning what that's all about the last couple of weeks of refurbishing the speakeasy at the house. And I can tell you that is exhausting. And once this project is done, I don't want to do a project for a long, long time.
Okay. Yeah, you can go to Domenic's Facebook page and you can see all that in action. It does look like an awful lot of work.
Oh, by the way, we're opening this weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you want a reservation for a legit bar that you don't have to worry about your social distancing at?
Don't get yourself in trouble here.
Hey, look, this is not a legitimate business, okay?
Okay. Make sure you got some masks available for everyone there.
There you go.
I'd like to welcome to the panel today a new panelist, Tom Schaffer. I've known him now for 10 years. I first met him at a networking event, North Hills Networking, which is my personal event, which has been going on now for 10 years. And maybe you can tell him a little bit about what those first Rockstar Connect events were first before I give you the topic for today.
Yeah, so Stephen had a real estate office in North Hills. It was literally maybe 2 offices size worth of regular offices, and would just pack them. And we would have people and food and they were great events. In the summertime, they were really hot events, but they were the beginning, and they quickly didn't take long to outgrow that space. And then we proceeded to meet in various venues around the triangle, marching from restaurant to restaurant, and that keep having to get bigger. But they were a lot of fun, but they were packed houses.
And it sounds very strange to even talking about, like very illicit talking about this in the age of pandemic. And this wasn't very long ago, but in a space of about 1,200 square feet, we would put in about 150 people with an open bar where you served yourself. and local restaurants would come in and they would bring their chefs and prepare food right there on the spot in the kitchen. It was really super cool. Maybe we'll get back to that type of networking event one day. We can only dream. So if you could first of all tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, and then the topic for today that we want you to speak about is, if money was not a factor and you could do anything that you wanted, what would you be doing? Now, I want you guys to keep in mind, Tom is a very well-known speaker. He participates in all sorts of speaking competitions with Toastmasters. So I would imagine have a little bit to do with that. But tell us a little bit about yourself and what you would do if money was no object.
All right. So I like to really think what I do is financial coaching. I like to help people have a conversation today so they can affect the outcome of a conversation later, and have a chance to be in control of that conversation, or at least affect what is going to happen. So relative to, whether it's primarily in the areas of business, small business exit planning, and helping people find financial pathways before that, through that, and after that, as well as through the significant events of a separation and divorce and widowhood. And this is going to come right off of left field, I would think, but it's just something that I felt like so this equates to a dream of what, like, everybody thinks about when you won the lottery, right? Because that would kind of equate to money's no longer an option, right? Of significance. I don't mean $250,000, but if you want a significant amount, people that know me and watch my Facebook know, and Stephen does, that I love to barbecue and smoke meat. So I would buy a significant bus and travel that would contain my kitchen and have my smokers, and I'd already come up with the name for it. It would be Q for Good. And I would just drive around and book and cook barbecue for nonprofit events around the country.
That sounds fantastic. And I know there's a bunch of people on this panel who, if they could do it, they would join you. Raise your hand if you would be going out with Thomas. Andrew would. Yeah. Looks like a lot of the guys, you definitely are living the dream there. Thank you. And, a lot of the people that are on the program, they are involved in financial coaching. And this question is really, true to their heart. You guys help people achieve this so they can do what they want to do. Joining us right now is one of our favorite panelists from Jupiter, Florida, Tommy Episcopo. Tommy, if you can share a little bit about what you do, and the topic this week that we're talking about is, if resources were no object, if education was no object or geographic location, and you could do anything that you wanted to do, what would you be doing? You need to unmute yourself, Tommy. Can you help Tommy there with the?
I got it. You got me? Okay. First of all, I'm Tommy Episcopo, Generations Financial out in Jupiter, Florida. What we do is teach individuals and businesses how to eliminate their debt. We don't negotiate, consolidate, or forgive debt. We teach them how to eliminate it, and we teach them how to become their own bank. So no more financing. We teach you how to finance everything yourself, and we teach you how to get out of your debt. Just imagine, if you will, all the interest you're giving to somebody else. Imagine that interest back in your pocket. That's what we do. If I had all the money in the world, what would I be doing? Probably as little as possible. But for the sake of this discussion, probably just continue to do what I do because I love it so much. I see the look on people's faces when they have no more debt. It's a very fulfilling thing. It really is. It's something else. It's something most financial guys do not get to experience. And they get to experience.
Maybe you would do it as a not-for-profit then, at that point. Build a big organization or something along those lines.
For that, I'll need Katie.
Well, Katie could definitely help you with that.
She can.
Guys, we're going to have a little bit of fun here. We have a guest today, a new panelist, and he's not going to tell you what he does. He's going to show you what he does before he answers his topic. So Shaun, are you ready? We're going to feature you up. He's going to show you, and then you guys tell me if you know what he does. Go ahead.
Wait, I need him to unmute himself.
Okay, Shaun, you need to unmute yourself. Go ahead.
You are.
Okay.
I'm muted. Hear me? Yes.
Yeah, what are you going to show us today? Come on, let's see it.
Well, if money wasn't an object, I usually don't have issues with it because whenever I want, I could just reach out and get it. It's just a matter of knowing what to look for, knowing where to look. Oh, here's another one. I could do this all day. Coins. And of course, time is money, and money is time. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I'm just going to go back in time, back to the moment, to where I only had 2 coins. We go back in time even further, back to the moment, to where I had just 1 coin. We go all the way, gone. And that's what I do.
Shaun is a corporate magician. Incorporated into his act is team building and helping people understand success and smile and laugh. And I'm going to open up. Did I represent you well there, Shaun?
I believe you did. You did a great job, David. Thank you.
Okay. Now he travels all over the country. He's been on television and featured as a young famous comedian. But let's go to the question of today. The topic of today is, if money was no object and you could do anything you wanted to do, what would you be doing?
I have to say, thankfully, for the past 17 years of my life, I've been doing exactly what I wanted to do. I mean, I'm not making that up. When I was 12 years old, I decided this is what I wanted to do. So although due to restrictions and things, it's difficult to appear in person and standing in front of people doing this. Thankfully, with the magic of technology, I can literally be all over the world at any time. So it's allowing me to become the master of space and time.
So can people hire you to, if they're doing a Zoom meeting, a business meeting, can they hire you virtually?
Exactly. So I've pivoted totally. My site has reflected all of these changes. I have a lot of examples of new things that I'm doing with my business, virtual happy hours, virtual meetings and events. I mean, lots of times people get together for the company meeting and they're talking about stats and numbers, which is great, but eventually doing that same format will get boring after a while, and it's very easy to zoom out. So I help keep people zoomed in by getting everybody engaged, interaction, and depending on the event, I can incorporate the company's message into my presentation.
Well, Shaun is fantastic. He's been coming to our events for 10 years. He's been coming and doing magic at our events and interacting with people. And he has great support behind him. He has a family business. Yeah. So definitely check out Shaun online. Sarah's going to drop his information into the chat. Now, I'm going to go over to Scott Rutter. And Scott loves magic. So you just absolutely positively made his day, right, Scott?
That's right. That's right. And actually, Shaun and I have known each other for several years now. My kids absolutely love his magic. We first met at Mellow Mushroom, downtown Raleigh. So always good seeing you, Shaun.
Yeah, good to see you.
Scott, so tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then we'll jump onto the topic.
Yeah, so Scott Rutter, own my own Goosehead insurance franchise where we specialize in property and casualty, so all personal lines insurance. We can also assist you with life insurance, and what makes the agency really unique is we have over 30 carriers we can shop you through to find you the absolute best coverage at the most competitive premium possible.
Excellent. And if money was no object, what would you be doing?
Well, if I couldn't be Lincoln Lawyer, so Matthew McConaughey out of that movie collecting money, $100 bills out of the back of a limo.
Yeah, we just saw that this weekend.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad you caught that. So to be honest with you, I mean, I really love doing what I'm doing. I mean, Rockstar Connect has, blessed me in so many countless ways to where I'm able to be the business development director also, and doing insurance, being new to being a business owner again. I love providing value to all the clients that I speak to. So I'm really kind of in a good spot right now. Just love adding value.
Well, I thought when we would ask that topic, that would be, almost, I would say without a doubt, everyone here is doing what they want to do. They may just be doing it a little on different terms. I do what I love to do what I do, but, everyone needs a paycheck, but I would certainly be doing the same thing times 100 if money was no object. I'm going to get to our sponsors of this event, referral books, shortly. I want to sort of prepare them because they've been on a multi-city tour. And when I'm saying a multi-city tour, they're doing it the old-fashioned way. They're doing it in a car, driving all around the country, letting people know how they can network efficiently. They've created a fantastic tool. I want them to sort of think about what the topic is today, and Sarah's going to shoot that up there again so they can reflect on it, and I'll come back to you guys in just a few minutes so you can share the good word with us. I'm going to go over to Chris Rogers because he always seems to be taking off these calls, so we're going to go to Chris Rogers next. This is a man who's probably doing exactly what he wants to do, but tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll jump onto that topic.
Well, first off, I will have to say it's great to see Shaun J. I've used him in many different facets in the past and crossed paths with him, and his magic is always phenomenal. Great to see all the lovely faces here. As usual, my name is Chris. I'm the regional sales and event planner for Sullivan's Steakhouse in Charlotte and Raleigh. I'm your steak guy. I'm your experience maker. I'm the guy who makes sure that your party, your wedding, or anniversary just goes perfectly. Yeah, so I mean, pretty much I take care of all the marketing for the restaurant, as well as, again, making sure that guests have a great experience. With all the stipulations we have in restaurants now, it's even more important that every little detail is perfect. So, but that's me.
Well, before we jump into the topic of today, I do want to let you know that the event that I discussed earlier, the July 16th event, will be at Sullivan's. It's a very large restaurant. Normally, full capacity is a little over 400 people, and we're going to utilize the whole restaurant. And of course, we're going to have a lot less than 400 people, so we can all maintain social distancing and have the safest networking event in the United States. And Sarah and I went to Sullivan's on Friday just to check it out and see how they're doing it, and they're doing an exceptional job. What I liked is we were very well distanced, but we also still had fantastic people watching, which is what we love to do when we go to eat out. Sarah likes to see people dressing up nicely, which people do when they go to Sullivan's. And of course, we had a great steak and seafood and had a wonderful time. So we're looking forward to that event. Tickets are going quickly to the event. Sarah is going to drop that in the link. This is a very private event. We're not going to be throwing photos of this all online. So you're going to be able to network in private with some very, high quality people at a physical distance. And we will be videotaping this event so we can give a peek to people that would like to have events like this in their market, so that we could have one in Charleston and in Jupiter and other parts of the Triangle, where you can continue to maintain your network. And so the topic for today is, Chris, if resources were no object and you could do anything you would like to be doing, what would you be doing?
Well, so a lot of people might not know this about me, but for over 20 years, I've been a DJ and a music producer. So I've got a full studio in my house now, and I used to spend hours upon hours writing all forms of music styles. So if money was no object, that's hands down what I would love to do. I'd love to sit in my studio and just write music all day, every day. I do love what I do now, though. I can't be mad about it. If money was no object, I would probably still do what I do now, and that is just be the guy I am and, shatter expectations no matter what it is I do.
That's fantastic. And I love that attitude. Can't wait to see you again on the 16th. We'll probably see you before that.
Absolutely.
Katie Blomquist, one of our favorite panelists. Everyone wants to always connect with her. We're always getting requests to be connected to Katie. Tell us a little bit about what you do, and then let's jump right into the topic.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Katie Blomquist. I'm the founder and executive director of the nonprofit Going Places. We provide new custom bikes to every child at once in the low-income elementary schools and big surprise bike reveals. So we're giving away 400, 600 bikes at once. I also have another business where I teach people how to start nonprofits through an online course where I take you through month by month, taking all the guesswork out, providing you with every downloadable template, everything you need so you can actually start making a difference quickly in the community instead of having to wait years to get to a place you wish you were at. And then the third part of that is I do keynote speaking. And to answer the question, well, I don't know if you've heard, but running a nonprofit and working for a nonprofit isn't raking in the money personally. So I literally would do this. That's why I have 3 streams of income. By the end of 2021, I'll have 5 streams of income. So, you know, it's not lucrative personally, but I don't want to ever have to take more money out of the nonprofit. I don't want to get raises. I want to keep my very low teacher salary, basically, and, you know, live from all these other streams of income. So, I mean, I'm doing what I'm doing because I love it. I started it when it was just a GoFundMe, and I ran it like a second full-time job while I was still teaching. And it's, you know, because I love it. I'm very passionate about it. I can't tell you how many times a year I'll work 7 days a week till midnight because I love it. And because I have the time, it's my number one priority. If I'm not working towards it, those kids aren't getting bikes. So I would still be doing this.
Thank God for you that you're going to continue doing it. For those of you that are watching this on Facebook, you're on Facebook right now. You can find Katie online. You can find Going Places. She has fantastic social media, so you can see exactly what her not-for-profit does in her community, and she is looking to expand that all over the country. But if you want to have the joy of running your own non-for-profit, Katie can teach you how to do that as well.
Yeah, I have a public Facebook group on how to start a nonprofit. I'll put all this in the chat when I'm done talking here. But I have my professional speaking, all that has its own social media. The nonprofit has its own social media. Plus, in addition to all that, I have the public Facebook group where I always give tips and tricks and things about running a nonprofit. And I also have a free webinar if you're interested. I was very adamant. I hate webinars where I watch it and I feel like the entire time I'm just trying to be sold on something, and it's just talking. Like, I actually teach you 5 key steps to start a nonprofit. So you actually will learn something.
Yeah, guys, share your secrets with everyone about how to be successful. That's how success becomes contagious. Thank you, Katie.
Yep.
Okay, so Todd, are you guys sort of ready? Are you ready to jump in? Hey, first of all, I want to say, Todd and Doug, how long have you been traveling together now on this road trip for referral book?
Picked Doug up at the airport yesterday morning, but I've got about 2,000 miles under my belt.
Okay, because it's you guys almost look alike now. Before you got on, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, Todd shaved his beard. I mean, same outfit, everything.
He's my brother from a different mother. That's the way it is.
Brother from a different mother. So I've already established I'm one of 5 people that can pronounce Doug's last name. So he considers me a very good friend. And I consider you a good friend, Todd. We've actually broken bread with one another. And I heard about your plan about going all over the country to do a referral book. And I will have to say that you are extremely passionate about networking, just like myself, and you get great enjoyment from it. You know, it puts a smile on your face when you meet new people, and you can count them as your friend. So I would imagine if you had all the resources in the world, you would be doing exactly what you do now. Am I wrong?
So just that would be a major part of my daily habit, although I'm so intrigued by what Katie talked about. We have established the Referral Book Foundation. And, you know, if I could truly do what I wanted to every day and money was no object, I would be all about, I'll give you an example. I would love to be able to bless a bunch of families in need at Christmas time and be able to privately and quietly look upon their joy. I think philanthropy and the ability to help other people would be extremely rewarding, more so than the networking. And I love the networking part of it.
Well, I think that, you know, you put your money where your mouth is. You know, Todd and Referral Book, they're paid sponsors of the 3 Martini lunch. They did a lot of due diligence before, you know, they pulled the trigger to sponsor this event so everyone in the country could still continue to enjoy Rockstar Connect. They determined that, hey, Rockstar Connect is a great networking event, more events than anyone else in the United States, but we have a fantastic tool for people that are networkers so that they do that follow-up, that they remember that, yes, in addition to making great friends and meaningful connections, we need to keep organized so we can keep revenue coming in as well. Todd, am I representing you there correctly? Would you like to add to that?
No, I think you said it very clearly. I am a big supporter of what you guys are doing. Sometimes when I look upon what you're doing, Stephen, I think, gosh, I wished I could replicate me and Doug and be in multiple places at the same time, because this is a big country and a lot of things going on, and we just can't be at every place each time. So,
well, that's sort of what like Rockstar Connect is. It enables, you know, people to be in multiple places all over the country to connect with other hosts. So essentially, you know, you're although you don't have an event right now, you are a Rockstar Connect host, and all the great things that belong to being a Rockstar Connect host. Now, about Referral Book, Referral Book is an application. It's available on your phone. It's available on the web, and it allows you to create circles. And in these circles, you are the center of the circle. You're the hub of the circle, and you are building a network of people that can refer business back to one another and can speak highly of one another, but you can also keep track of how you're doing that networking so that you'll have real results in the follow-up. Because that's the number one problem hosts have when they come to us. They say, how do I do the follow-up? Can you elaborate a little bit more on that, Todd?
well, you know, I think you go right to the jugular quickly on what our, I'm not going to call it struggle, but what our effort is focused upon, and that is when I speak, and we're finishing up an event here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. By the way, the sunsets here are to die for. It ought to be against the law. They're so beautiful. But we just finished with about a half a dozen or a dozen people in a meeting in Albuquerque, and the key is the next steps. You know, networking, for all you guys that are on, we're all patting each other on the back because we understand the value of networking. It's getting people to move the ball to that next step and get off the sidelines and get engaged. And so what we're doing, we're building, and that's why Doug is with me, we're building a national coaching program so I look at this and I see me and Doug, and I see Stephen David Elliot and Scott Rutter and Chris Rogers and Shaun J and Katie Blomquist, and I can keep going down the list if I, you know, Domenic, and this is a bunch of Class A networkers. We find it natural. It's how we were born with our DNA. A lot of people don't have it born in their DNA. So the process that we are promoting, I believe, can help people who weren't born with that as part of their DNA to move the ball forward and actually take their referral networking at a new high level down the path. And we're creating a coaching program to support them beyond the initial jazz. I look at people here today in the room, and they were so excited. And yet I know that if we don't support them in their continued efforts, that we'll lose them, but most importantly, they're going to lose the value of referral networking to their business. And So that's really where our focus is, and we're spending some late night time, going through that process and planning. And Doug just moved to Phoenix. Technically, guys, for you North Carolinians, I moved 50-50. I'm technically now a Texas resident, but I'm still very much, my heart's in North Carolina. We don't get a lot of FaceTime. We're using that to try to push those balls forward and create that process to a new and higher plane.
Right. I mean, you have a big job ahead of you, and hopefully Rockstar Connect, with the networks we've created, we can help you achieve, facilitating this coaching and other things that you guys want to achieve. So once again, we really want to thank Referral Book for being our major sponsor of this event, and we want to keep on hearing more about your tour. Referral Book.
Hey, Stephen,
yes.
This is Doug. I just, I think it's. I was blessed to be here with Todd today, and observed, Todd talking to the attendees that we had, and I think there's something that, regardless of whether or not any of the people on this call have any suggestions, I think certainly we'd be open to it. You talk to a lot of the realtors, and I mean, that's our first vertical market that we're attacking. I shouldn't say attacking, but working with. But the thing that I would ask is that a lot of the realtors understand that networking is very important to their business. Yet on the flip side, I think that there's a lot of realtors that know that, but that aren't actively networking. If you understand, I guess the dilemma, it's getting them started. It's getting them to take that next step. And so I guess, Todd talked about the people on this call and how everybody on this call, really has it in regards to networking and understanding the value and understanding it. And as I'm building out this program, our coaching program, I think it's very, very vital, and it's very, very key that we get it right, because as we're interacting with a lot of these circle builders as well as circle members, they understand the value and understand the need to network, but there's still something missing there, in that they won't or don't take it to the next step. And so if anybody has any suggestions, my email is doug@referralbook.com. And I certainly would be open to any suggestions that you might have, if in the fact that maybe before you got into this networking group, or what steps you took to overcome that in your profession. I think it would certainly be helpful as we're building this out. So I just wanted to throw that out, because as Todd alluded to, this group gets it. They understand it, and maybe they were born with it. But fortunately or unfortunately, not everybody has that. But I think ultimately everybody understands the value of networking. It's just now for them to take action. So
I think that people that are going to use your tool and that do use Rockstar Connect events as an attendee or as a host, they are successful people, and they owe much of their success to the networking they did earlier in their career. But once you get involved in your career and you have that network, you start losing the ability to efficiently network and make sure that you're touching on that sphere and being of value to them. So Rockstar Connect is a tool in networking. It allows our hosts to host an event where they can assist people in their community, and also they're top of mind, they're local celebrities in their community. A referral book is that physical tool that enables them to do the follow-up and to do an evaluation of how successful they have been in their networking efforts. You can reflect back and say, this is what I did during this month. This is who I spoke with. This is who I did a follow-up with. And this is the business that it's created. And not only that, this is the person that I owe a phone call to, or I owe a referral to them, because, they scratched my back. I need to scratch theirs. So we dropped Doug's information inside of the chat. We'll also put Todd's in there. They do have a Facebook business page, where Todd is also posting some photos from the event. So if you want to see some of those beautiful sunsets, I'm going to ask Todd to put some of those there as well, because we're sort of trapped where we are right now. You're about the only person I know on the road right now, Todd. So you have to show us all the good things that are happening all over the country, please.
We are boldly going where no COVID patient has gone before right now.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that, and we're going to live vicariously through you until we can do otherwise. Mr. Mark Roberts. Okay, Mark, a little bit about yourself. I see you have a success behind you. If you could well, you're sort of living the dream, so it's hard to ask you this question, but if money was no object or resources were no object, what would you be doing right now?
Well, we would jump to the end of the journey that we're trying to get to. Very quickly, what we're doing. I'm a business coach. I come in and help run the back office for your business. Everything from looking at the legal, the setup, to the operations and all of that. We also have a second company called the Office Nerds. You may have seen a little Irwin guy that I have behind on the other side here. That's for the bookkeeping. And that's with my wife, Tiffany. But what we are looking to do, and we're progressing down that road, is to get to a point where we can literally work on the boat and we can learn to sail a boat. We can take the boat down to the islands and work remotely. That's what we're really looking to do. We're probably 2 years away. But if you could give me all that money and time, we'll start that next week.
Well, that's terrific. When I was in college, I had sort of an epiphany that basically, we're all like spacemen. We're sort of like astronauts. If we want to do something, there's no barrier to us doing what we want to do except ourselves. We're the only barrier. So it's really not about, money is important, of course, but if there's something that you want to do, even if you don't have all the resources to do that, you can start the journey, like Mark said, to accomplish whatever you want to do. I mean, you may not be able to go work in Fiji like Mark does because you can't afford the gas to get there. But 5 minutes from your house is a beautiful park. Where you
if I could jump in, this is a great conversation, a fun conversation. But this is also one we have with our clients to get them to think, what do you actually want to do? Why are you doing this? If you're not having fun running your business, well, why? If it's just for money, let's get a job and get you at least weekends.
Right. Yeah. When you're working for yourself, you work 80 hours a week. You just get to choose those 80 hours that you work.
Absolutely.
And I'm thinking, Domenic and Tom, they're with a great company, New York Life. And these guys, although they are affiliated with the big company, they run their business the way they want to run their business. They answer to no one. They create their business the way they want to do it. With Tom, he's a phenomenal speaker. I've seen him speak at Toastmaster events, and that's what he loves doing. And people hear him speak, and they see the authority in his voice, and they send him business because of that, and the stories that he shares about what he does for his clients. And Domenic, boys just want to have fun. Domenic, loves to throw a good party, and he loves to entertain. He's a chef at heart. So, everyone on this panel is living the life, in my opinion, the life that they want to live right now, and they're doing what they want to do right now. So it's sort of a trick question, because money's not going to stop us from doing exactly what we want to do. Jeff, would you like to expound on the topic a little bit with that, with that thrown at you all at once?
Sure. And listen, I love doing video content and production and helping people wrap their arms around video marketing. But I'm at most peace when I have a piece of wood and a chisel in my hand. So if I really could not have to worry about money, I would love to help other people discover the art of woodworking. And Domenic, my favorite kind of woodworking to do is making furniture. So I just love creating new things from a raw piece of material, and woodworking is a fantastic way to do it. So if money wasn't the option, to be honest, that's what I'd be doing.
Well, what's funny is I think first of all, you should go over to Domenic's, check out his new speakeasy and give him a little bit of advice. But I speak to people all the time, and you're in video, and people will say to me, I'm having trouble making the income that I want to make, although I have a special skill. I say, why don't you document what you do and how you do it? Video it. There's people that want that special knowledge base, and they will pay money to learn how to do it. They want something beyond just, the YouTube video. They want something more in detail. you have all the resources to make as much video as you want. By all means, start showcasing your woodworking. And if you want to get on a call with me on how we could possibly market that or show you how you can make money from your passion, we can do that. I've done that with a lot of other people, and I'd be happy to do that with you as well.
Thanks for the offer. I'll take you up on that.
Everyone's had the opportunity to answer to the topic except for Jackie. And I saved Jackie for last because, first of all, I really want to thank her. We just briefly mentioned the event that we're doing at Chris's place. The 3 Martini lunch, the actual physical 3 Martini lunch with the same format, Success is Contagious, that we use with this panel. And she immediately wrote to us and said, hey, I would like to be a sponsor of your event. She didn't ask, oh, well, what do I get from being a sponsor or anything else? She just said, like, I'm on board. She was the first person to get her tickets, the first person to go to the link. And it shows tremendous support and her belief of what we're doing as an organization. And I just want to thank you on behalf of all the hosts around the country, all the attendees from Rockstar Connect, from Scott and Sarah, myself, hosts like Tommy and Katie and Domenic and people that help us, like, Mark is an excellent host, and Chris and Mark Sher. We really appreciate that you jumped right in it. So we're gonna make you an official Rockstar Connect host at the event on the 16th. Now, I know you are doing what you want to do, but why don't you jump in on the topic? If resources were no object, what would you be doing?
Well, it's going to sound kind of cliche because I think we've all given this answer. I love what I'm doing right now. And I don't think that I would be doing anything any differently than what I'm doing, except for adding a little twist to it. And that is getting people to understand that they are winners regardless of where they come from in life. And what I mean by win is that they're worthy, they're intelligent, and they're necessary. And I think a lot of people have self-doubt because they haven't achieved the same success as someone else. So one of the questions that I ask people to ask themselves often, because this actually leads to you finding what your success is, and that is, ask yourself, what am I good at? What am I good at? But you have to answer that question in a very honest way, because once you discover what you're good at, that becomes your passion, and your passion becomes your success. And I call that our win theory, that you're worthy, you're intelligent, and you're necessary. So I would do more of what I'm doing now, but on a grander scale. And I heard earlier when Katie said that nonprofit doesn't bring in a lot of money. Well, I don't do this for the money. I think the joy of knowing that I am really positioning someone to have a better quality of life and that they're going to be an asset to society, that is my reward for this. Yes, we all like money. I love traveling, and I've done a lot of that in my lifetime, but I'd like to do even more and learn more. But I wouldn't do a thing any other than what I'm doing now. This is very rewarding to me. And Stephen, I want to thank you for inviting me to be a part of your network and introducing me to Rockstar Connect. I met some really amazing people. I look forward to doing this 3 Martini lunch, and I get so excited when I'm asked to return. So I want to thank all of you for being a part of Rockstar Connect. Otherwise, I don't think we would have connected. So it is my pleasure, my honor, and I hope that I can contribute even more in the future.
Thank you, Jackie. Really appreciate what you have to say there. Am I having a little reverb on my end? Am I good? For me, and I'm going to speak a little bit for Sarah here, if she'll allow it. I mean, for us, our greatest success was we had our own event. We had North Hills Networking. We loved it. You know, we love our event. We love the people that go to it. And, you know, at different times in our life, maybe we weren't 100% felt we weren't 100% understood by the people around us. We knew we had a lot of things of value that we wanted to share with people. And having our own networking event and our own sphere of influence that we could share our talents with really allowed us to feel successful at a level we probably never had in our entire lives. And to bring that to the entire country, to host an attendees where they can have the same experience, has a lot of meaning to us. You know, obviously I'm getting a little choked up here and I don't want to give everyone a downer, but that's what's the most important thing to us. Just to keep it on a happy note, Shaun is going to share another magic trick with us before we close out. And I really appreciate you all.
All right. Thanks for letting me share this with you guys. Thanks for letting me be a panelist. This is really fun. Hearing about everybody, what they do, and there's a lot of people here that are following their passion, which is awesome. I have something to close it out, and it's been sitting behind me on this table the entire time. Now, lots of times when people see things, they miss the big picture, and it's right there in front of them. You know, some people may not have noticed this until I pointed it out, and that's kind of the way life is a lot of times. We miss the bigger picture because we're focusing on all the distractions. So I'm going to write something down on this card really quick. Not going to show it to you just yet. Just really fast. This is what I have a feeling the event was going to end this way. Now I'm going to ask somebody, let's see if I can get some input from, how about Jeff? Jeff, can we get some input from you? Can you, okay, you're unmuted?
I'm unmuted, yep.
Great, and we did not set this up, honestly, right, Jeff? I didn't even know you were going to be on this call, and you didn't know I was going to be here today, correct?
This is our first time virtually meeting, correct?
First time, okay, this is good. Jeff, I want you just in your mind, I was trying to send you virtually through the screen here, the name of somebody. Now, don't think about this too hard, because if you think about it too hard, you might miss the big picture. Your subconscious is going to call out a name to you, and that name would be, what's the first name that pops into your head?
Robert Redford.
Robert Redford, okay. And Robert Redford, was he an actor that you enjoyed watching? I see you're into film and stuff, right?
No, I don't enjoy Robert Redford that much, but it's just the first name that literally popped into my head.
Okay, okay, this is good. This is good. This is random. This is just the first thing.
Really random. I honestly am not a Robert Redford fan, but it was the first name that popped into my head. Yeah.
This
is like a salad dressing.
Okay, okay, no, this is good. This is good.
That's Paul Newman.
There you go. There you go.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're doing great. You're doing great. This that's been sitting there the entire time. Remember, I've been trying to influence you. I'm going to reach inside of here. You said Robert Redford, the actor, I think he is. And I wrote something very quickly. And I believe, hopefully we're on the same page here, because I also wrote Robert Redford. I don't know if you can see that there. It's coming up backwards. Can you see that?
I can see that. 100%.
You've made a connection.
That's amazing.
Can you come over and help me prospect, Shaun? Or Jay? Shaun Jay. Yeah, Shaun Jay. Can you come over and help me prospect a little more?
Could happen. I could do it.
Great.
Thank you.
You want to buy InReach.
Well, I think that we're going to, everyone, take the opportunity before we go to drop your information into the chat. It's been a particularly meaningful 3 Martini lunch for me today. For those of you who are in the North Carolina area or will be in the North Carolina area, specifically Raleigh, July 16th, we would love to have you at this premier event, which is an actual physical 3 Martini lunch, very similar to what we're doing here virtually, but a lot better. We're going to be giving out masks like Clint has if you want to put that mask on, the Rockstar Connect mask. We're going to enjoy a fantastic meal. Please go there. There's also sponsorship opportunities. I know a lot of you would like to be sponsors of the event. It is limited because we are doing physical distancing and taking a lot of precautions. And we're at the part of the event where everyone raises their hand and waves goodbye. Thank you all for coming.